Hi all. I hope you're having a good Friday afternoon or weekend. It was really nice spending time together on Friday in class, exploring mindfulness and negotiation in life. I very much appreciated the conversation and the various insights, suggestions, ideas, examples that you brought into the conversation to really breathe life into it, make it more practical, connecting it to our lives personally and professionally. So thank you for that. I hope you found it instructive, informative, interesting, thought-provoking. I hope it offered you a deeper understanding of this mindfulness that we're exploring, the awareness that we can cultivate through practice, that this week's reading, chapter 4, will offer you a more rounded out perspective on, and how this awareness through practice can be helpful, both as an end in itself and setting us up to be able to make decisions, contribute to conversations, draw upon techniques that we have at our disposal more skillfully than we might otherwise. I very much appreciate the conversations around taking a hard look at these techniques and whether or not they resonate with us. And just like the focused attention practice may resonate with you or not, the body scan practice may resonate with you or not, this week's open monitoring practice may resonate with you or not, so too a technique, tried and true as it may be, like the core concerns or whatever it may be, may resonate with you or not. And the nice thing is that you don't, in my experience, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to, nothing that we're learning you need to do to be a happy, successful person. But the things we're exploring might contribute towards sort of optimizing and enhancing some of those things. And so to the extent that things resonate and we want to draw upon them, whether they're practices or settling techniques or techniques for communicating and negotiating, etc., more effectively, terrific. And where something doesn't seem to resonate, to either put it aside or to perhaps say, I'm going to investigate this further. That's what it's all about. So I very much appreciate the serious and hard look that many of you are giving to the subject matter that we're exploring. All right, a couple of things. First, do continue to bring the negotiations that we have and that we discussed today. Bring awareness to the negotiations in your day-to-day lives. I think the more we do that, the more we have it on our mind. Not that you need to somehow say, this is a negotiation, now I need to bring mindfulness and resolve it and all that sort of thing. Just to notice it. Just to be aware, I'm having an internal debate over whether to do this or to do that. The awareness itself is huge, and just to go there and pause there for a moment takes us a long way. And then, of course, we're beginning to explore, well, what then? Now that we're aware, or a little bit more aware, how might we then navigate what we do next? What technique we may draw upon, what we may say or do or not say or not do in a way that can be useful. And so this is an opportunity to bring this into your lives and sort of test it out and observe and notice as we go, both in terms of our internal negotiations and our conversations with others. I think that we all have room to deepen and further develop our connections, both with ourselves and others. And that's a really nice thing. It makes our life's journey, I think, personally satisfying in terms of our own growth, and it also makes our relationships with others meaningful and purpose and satisfying in ways because we learn and we grow together. And in this respect, we want to, just as we're being kind to ourselves, and where it's fitting and it makes sense and it is being kind to ourselves, we also want to be kind to others. This isn't easy, this being a human being, and yet what an extraordinary thing. It isn't easy being a lawyer, but oh my goodness, what an extraordinary thing. And it isn't easy being a law student, and oh my goodness, what an extraordinary thing that you all have been exploring and learning and doing, and the the places you'll go. All right, so in addition to our consideration of mindfulness and negotiation, and we will have a chapter in a couple of weeks that we'll read on mindfulness and listening, which builds on that. This week you've got mindfulness and awareness. After you read that chapter on awareness, you will then have 5 questions that are prompts on the web page, just like you've had before with previous readings. You'll answer those in 1 to 2 pages and turn that in by Wednesday. If you have any difficulty getting that book, please email me, let me know, and I'll find a way to get to you a copy of that chapter. It's not a long chapter. I think you'll find it interesting and informative, and I'm looking forward to talking about it in class. In addition to the chapter on awareness, there's going to be the outline, and in a moment I'll conclude this with a little bit of a discussion on the outline. That's one part of the webpage for next week's assignment that I'll flesh out over the course of the weekend. In terms of practice, you'll be practicing the new practice, the open monitoring practice, at least 3 times this week. This is on the webpage. I encourage you to start with it, as soon as possible. Perhaps it'll be tomorrow's practice. And the reason for that is because it's the new practice. It's a variation on the theme of the practices we've been learning. It takes a little bit of a departure from the focused attention / body scan practices. And you'll have one of those days where you go outside with your crayons and your journal, and you will really have it be an outside open monitoring practice. And you can't really do that until you've practiced open monitoring a couple times, so that you have a sense of what that means to sit outside and, unlike with a focused attention practice on the breath and a focused attention practice on the tree, where it's pretty clear what you're doing, drawing a tree when your mind wanders coming back, here it's a little bit more open-ended, like the practice is. And so you'll find that I write on the web page, please practice at least twice open monitoring before you then go out and do it. And both your 1 to 2 page writing on awareness and your drawing outside, please, as we've done before, text them to me by Wednesday, or send me an email, whichever is easier for you. So, okay, we've talked about negotiation in our class and sort of carrying that forward. We've talked a little bit about the chapter on awareness and the writing assignment. We talked about the guided practices. In addition to practicing open monitoring at least 3 times, please do continue to draw on the other practices that we've learned that you have found resonated with you. If you like focused attention, please bring focused attention in to the other days of this week. If the body scan, then the body scan. If the rain practice, feel free to bring the rain practice into your daily practice routine. Okay, so now that's the guided practices, and I'm thinking, what else is there before we conclude with the outline? All right, the outline. So I don't micromanage this. You will be given information on how to turn in a 1-page outline that really captures the key components of what you are thinking about writing about, so that I can give you feedback on that. Some of you may want to be working on your outline over the break, or maybe you'll want to work on your outline between now and shortly after the break. That's fine. It isn't due until the Wednesday after the break. Some of you may want to work on it this week, your outline, and get some feedback very early into the fall break or over next weekend, so that you can beginning to work on your paper during the fall break. That's fine too. So I really leave it up to you. When you provide me with your outline, I will plan to turn around some thoughts and ideas on it, and we can certainly plan anytime you'd like to talk about it, to meet either over Zoom or in person and talk about your outline. Importantly, when you're writing your paper, you're going to have references, and I would say on average about half, no more, of those references, of the things you'll cite to, will come from class readings. In class we really are looking at the fundamentals of mindfulness. And when you're working on your paper, you're really zeroing in on certain areas in particular. And so you'll find that there's a world of writings out there, both mindfulness and law on areas and domains that you'll want to be writing about, and mindfulness and a specific area. So know that about half of what you'll probably be citing to will come from materials that you find from your own researching of the area that you're interested in. And I'll be happy to share with you some of these readings that I have on my mind when I know what it is that you're going to be writing about. But it's for you to really do a little bit of research. It isn't hard to type mindfulness and blank and to find a bunch of things. The harder part is to narrow it down to sources that you find reliable and interesting and helpful. So you might want to begin that anytime. And that's, of course, something that you can begin anytime. Alrighty. I think that does it. So, wishing you all well. Please let me know if you have any questions. And again, nice to be with you today.